Alright, welcome to the video. Today I'm going to talk about 5 things I hate about this CTX 700. The first thing I hate about it is the side stand. Honda could have done a lot better with this side stand. It's too close to the bike. It doesn't stick out far enough. Like they just took the side stand from the NC 700 and chopped it off, and that's it. They just made it shorter. But they should have redesigned it so it sticks out further, because when you're on uneven ground or uneven pavement, you know, just a little bit of unevenness will make the bike sit either straight up almost, like you could easily be tipped over, or it leans really far, and it's because this foot is too close to the bike. It should have stuck out more out here somewhere. The second thing I hate about this bike is the chain. I wish it would have had a drive shaft. Now, I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but you're always maintaining this chain when you're traveling. Every night at the motel room, you know, you got to come out, check it, adjust it, tighten it up, oil it. And it's just a pain in the butt. With a drive shaft, you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. Then you have to carry all the tools along to it, make the adjustments to make sure the chain it doesn't come loose on you. It's just a pain in the butt, and I wish it would have had a drive shaft. The third thing I hate about this bike is the air filter location. The air box is right up front, right under this cowl. So you gotta take all this stuff apart to get in there to change the air filter. Even though I know you don't do it very often, but when you do have to do it, it's a pain. I wish they would have made a better way of getting to the air filter on this bike. Because I think you gotta take off this top piece, and I think even the other side too. So there's a lot of things that have to come apart in order to get to the air cleaner. The headlight on this bike is another thing I don't like. I wish it would have had a little bit better headlight. It's okay around town and stuff like that, but when you're out west in the middle of nowhere, that one lonely light bulb in there just doesn't seem to be enough. You can upgrade that, but make sure you don't put a bulb in there like one of those LEDs that are just obnoxiously bright, because then the drivers coming the other way, they're blinded and they can't see anything. So you gotta kind of find a bulb that works, that's bright enough for you to see, but not so bright that it blinds oncoming traffic. The fifth thing I don't like about this bike is the wind deflection. Without this windshield on here from Madstad, all the wind comes up and it creates turbulence around the forks. Then it gets pushed up right here where the forks sit when the handlebars are turned, and it hits you right in the chest. You get a lot of wind force right in your chest and stomach area. Luckily, they put a shield here to try to deflect a lot of that, and it does seem to work pretty good. But still, I wish they would have done that better. Another little bonus thing I hate about this bike, we'll call it number 6, I guess, is the rear suspension. Honda says that suspension is not adjustable, but it is. If you go in there with a screwdriver, you can pop that off. It's like 2 nuts that are locked together. And you got to unlock the first one, back it off. Then the one on the bottom, you can either turn it up or down to increase or reduce the spring pressure. Now, I had to increase the spring pressure on this one quite a bit, because when we go riding, you know, we got our bags, we got all our clothes, all of our stuff with us, plus the rider, and it smushes that rear suspension down far enough that it makes it uncomfortable to ride. But it is adjustable, and if you plan on loading the bike up hard, I highly recommend going in there and adjusting that spring rate. And even when it's really stiff, it's still really soft. I mean, that's not normal. I think some of it has to do with that side stand, but I feel like, you know, I'm not hardly pressing on it, and that rear suspension is collapsing just by putting a little bit of pressure on the seat. So I feel like a big gust of wind could come along and just push the bike right over. It wouldn't be very difficult to do. You know, even if you bump it, the bike is just going to fall right over because that spring just collapses so easily. It's a real bummer. I wish Honda would have spent a little more time, did a little more research, and made it a little bit better quality, and maybe they would still be selling and making this bike. It's still a great bike, and I still love it. For the money, you can't beat this little bike. This is a DCT model. So you just put it in drive and away you go. It's still a great bike for somebody who's just getting into cycling and just wants a lighter bike to ride around on. Doesn't have to worry about, you know, falling over on a really expensive piece of machinery. Besides the chain, it's pretty easy to maintain this. And besides the air filter. But yeah, carrying all those tools with you when you're traveling, that's a pain in the butt. So you got to find room to take all that stuff, and it's heavy. But if you do have one of these bikes, I highly recommend getting the Sidestand windshield. It does work probably the best out of all the windshields out there. If you really want to do some long riding, I see a lot of people put those really short windshields on there. I just think that's ridiculous. You need something bigger than that. But again, it's a great bike. I'm just nitpicking on these things. You know, all the things I own, I did a lot of research before I bought them, and so I'm just nitpicking on them as I go, just to give potential buyers an idea of what's good, what they should look out for, and understand exactly what they're buying. That's all. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Stick around, there's going to be more coming up soon. So hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out. Thanks a lot. Have a great day. Goodbye.